Hi again, everybody, and welcome to Retirement SOS. I'm Ernie.
And I'm Beth, and this is our very shaggy dog, Ruby, who desperately needs to be groomed.
And today we're going to talk about why people choose to unretire and go back into the workforce. And after that, we're also going to offer some job tips because we had an opportunity to talk to two employment agencies, so we have some good information about that. And you're probably thinking, well, why would anybody want to unretire once they've got into the good retirement mode of life? So it's a lot more common than you think, because about 30% of the people that choose to retire go back into the workforce after 5 years.
Wow.
That's a pretty high number. I wasn't
is.
expecting such a
It
high
is.
number. And sometimes it's actually their former employer that asks them to come back. And of course, we saw that recently with nurses where hospitals needed extra help. So a lot of nurses unretired temporarily and went back into the workforce.
So, the obvious reason that a lot of seniors do decide to go back to work is because of a fear of running out of money. So, we know that the cost of living has gone up dramatically recently.
We've seen it.
Yeah. And so maybe people want to fluff up their nest egg. Also, financial planners are actually basing life expectancy now on age 95. People are basically living longer. So a lot of times they're just running out of money and have to work a bit longer.
So another reason why people unretire is boredom, or there could be a significant change to a person's life structure. And that's what I'm going to talk about right now. Last year, when we were getting our bricks done, I met up with a 63-year-old man who was working on the job, and we got talking about retirement. And this gentleman once owned a very successful masonry company years ago. So he'd done quite well. And at age 57, he had decided to sell his business. And the reason he sold is because him and his wife wanted to retire and do some traveling. And that plan worked out beautifully for the first 2 years. But unfortunately, he had a life-changing event happen. Unfortunately, his wife got sick and she passed away. Just after that, he was floundering in retirement. He needed something more. He was bored. So he called up an associate in the masonry business. And he asked if he could go work for that company just on a part-time basis. And of course, you know, that business with bricks and what have you is very seasonal. So the owner of the company recognized how talented this man was and just hired him immediately, just like that. And in fact, that really helped him because it gave him a nice life balance between work, free time, and fulfillment. And just an update. In fact, now he has a girlfriend. So he's met somebody, that's great, and he's doing well. So really what it is his chosen desire to unretire began his path to happiness once again.
Another reason people unretire is to pursue something new. We know a couple, a high school teacher who has gone on to run a very successful tutoring business. So he retired actually in his late 50s, I believe quite early.
Yes, he did.
And he has been tutoring for years now with a very heavy clientele. And he's almost 80. So this has turned into a real thriving business for him. And the same with his wife, actually. She was a figure skating coach, of all things, for many, many years. And when she retired, she turned her passion for antiques into a pretty thriving business. So they both found that retirement, full retirement, wasn't for them, and they were able to find their passion in being semi-retired or working.
Yeah, we see them every so often, and they are just so happy.
An energetic couple.
Yeah, absolutely.
We also know someone else who was an expert cabinet maker, but wanted a change and is now teaching locally at a community college on a part-time basis. So it's great work-life balance, but they're still following their passion. So you have to be creative, but you can find great ways to sort of turn what was once your full-time career into something a lot more enjoyable.
So what does this all mean? What happens if you want to get back into the workforce after retiring? Well, we talked to 2 employment agencies and we have some tips. First thing you have to do is create a resume. Plenty of templates on the internet to help you with that. Second thing, you got to create a cover letter. And basically the cover letter should say that you're unretiring and you're looking for part-time work. So don't narrow yourself down to a specific sector. Be flexible. What a recruiter is actually doing when they examine your resume is they are looking for transferable skills. This is the most important thing you have to know, and I'm going to say it again. So when a recruiter is looking at your resume, they are specifically looking for transferable skills. So an example is, let's say you're an accountant. That means you're good with numbers. So basically the recruiter then will try to slot you into something that you're going to enjoy and something that you have a particular skill level at. So that's why it's very, very important on your resume to be honest about your ability, because you don't want to start doing a part-time job like you're not going to like.
So some of the feedback we got from the agencies that we spoke with is that 2 areas they're really looking for people is customer service and data entry. And the great thing about these areas is that oftentimes you can do it from home after the training period. So that is something to consider. Another thing to keep in mind is that your expectations when you unretire should be different. Don't expect to earn the same money that you used to earn, do the same job that you used to do. But that's a good thing because you're out of the rat race and you're just there to build up your nest egg a little bit and sort of enjoy less responsibility and less stress. There's nothing wrong with moving in and out of the workforce. In fact, people do it all the time, more than you think. Even through word of mouth or former colleagues, they're often asked back just temporarily. And then they retire again, and then something else comes along and they go back again. There's nothing wrong with it. It's a personal decision, and it gives a lot of people satisfaction.
And also a lot of singers will work seasonally.
That's true.
Yeah, so there's a lot of opportunities out there if you want to go back.
Exactly. So as I mentioned, Ruby is heading off to the groomer next week. She desperately needs it. But I've had a heck of a time finding a decent groomer. So maybe that's an industry you might be interested in.
And if you do choose to unretire, we hope we've given you something to think about and also some job tips. And if you want to see more videos about retirement, please consider subscribing to our fun little channel.
So until next time.
Bye for now.